Welcome to the Rugby League Outsiders team sheet and our grand final preview.
A little bit different to our predictions video. We aim to bring you sort of team selections, team sheet as we go into the grand final.
Yeah, so we're going to be looking at key milestones, our players to watch, and we're also going to come up with a new feature, which is our thrillometer. Carl's not very keen on this.
But it reminds me of Phil Clark's margin meter, that's why.
Yeah, so thrillometer, how excited we are to watch this. So make sure you watch all the way to the end to get the thrillometer. All right, the tale of the two teams then. So starting off with Wigan. Wigan, as we know, is a team steeped in Super League history, having won 28 out of 41 meetings with Hull KR, including dominating wins in 2023. Wigan has historically struggled in finals, losing 6 Super League grand finals in 2000, 2001, 2003, 2014 and 2015, and then most recently in 2020. Their last victory over Hull KR in a major final was in the 1985-86 season and in the John Players Special Trophy, where they won 11 points to 8.
Hull KR, on the other hand, very much the underdogs going into this game. This is their first, well, they'll be looking to win their first ever grand final. So odds are stacked with Wigan if you look at the history. Although Hull KR have won 12 of the last 41 meetings in the Super League era, they've been competitive in recent matches. Hull KR never won the Super League grand final, but they're hungry to change that.
Okay, let's look at what's at stake. Obviously, you've got the prestigious Super League trophy, which everybody wants, but there's other things at stake as well. So for Wigan Warriors, they're aiming for their 6th Super League title and redemption from the previous grand final losses. If they lose, Wigan would extend their unwanted record of most grand final defeats to 7.
Wow. A win for Hull KR would crown them Super League champions for the first time, but there's also a few other bits going on. Ryan Hall is chasing Carl Ablett's record of most grand final appearances without a loss. That would take him to 7. A try would make him the oldest player to score in a grand final at 36 years, 320 days. Tyrone May could also join an elite list of players who won grand finals in both England and Australia, having won with the Penrith Panthers in 2021.
Okay, before we move on to the key motivators and different milestones, I mean, there's a couple of stories there, Carl, that those players can get behind to give them that extra oomph. So do you think that's going to be something that's playing on their mind?
I generally don't think it'll play in the mind at all. I think stats and figures to players don't really matter. I think once you get into a grand final, it's just about winning the grand final at all costs.
Well, especially, I mean, if you look at what Ryan Hall said recently when he was talking about Willie Peters' halftime, talk, and he was like, I don't want to fall in love with ourselves. I don't want to know what we're doing well. I want to know what we're doing badly so that we can change it. So yeah, I don't think he's really going to have his eye on that, but it's interesting stats for the fans.
I think maybe a look back on this after his career's ended, but very much at this moment, it's all about winning and at all costs.
Right, we're going to look at the key motivators and player milestones, of which there are a few. For Wigan Warriors, Liam Farrell and Jake Wardle could become the first Wigan players to win 2 Harry Sunderland trophies for the man of the match. Abbas Miski has a 5-game try-scoring streak against Hull KR and will be looking to continue that momentum. And Bevan French is 2 tries away from reaching 100 tries for Wigan Warriors.
So I've already spoke about Ryan Hall. He'll be looking for his 7th grand final victory on personal milestone of oldest man of the match winner as well, if he manages to win the Rob Burrow Man of the Match award. James Batchelor needs 1 more appearance for Hull KR to hit 150 career appearances, and Elliot Minchella is 1 game away from 100 appearances for Hull KR, so that's quite significant going into your grand final as your 100th appearance. Peter Hiku has played all 26 games this season, leading the charge for consistency and durability.
A couple of things that stand out for me. We've spoke already this season about Peter Hiku. He had a terrible first start at fullback for Hull KR, completely turned that round now, and has been awarded with a call up to his international side as well.
Yeah, like you just said, he's had a great season, hasn't he? He's got better and better. And certainly in the playoffs, once Hull KR hit the playoffs, he's been one of their most influential players. For Hull KR to have a big game, he needs to play well. I'm sure he will.
Separate side notes. Obviously, Ryan Hall going to Leeds Rhinos next year. Yeah. Leeds have just announced that they've signed Jake Connor. Now, Ryan Hall doesn't strike me as like a player that likes mess around. He's pretty focused, and we know having spoke to Jamie Jones Buchanan in the past, that he is a bit different. Ryan Hall goes about his business in a slightly different way to many other players. Do you think he's going to put up with Jake Connor's crap, or do you think he's going to play a big part in pulling him in line?
Well, I think Ryan Hall will probably be one of the leaders in that side next year, so I think he will have to pull Jake Connor in line. I don't think he'll stand for any crap from him, to be honest with you. I think Ryan Hall next year will inevitably be one of the leaders in that Ryan Hall side next year. Okay,
so talking about leaders, we each pulled out players to watch. No surprise, really, with a couple of players that we've pulled out because they are absolutely electric. So let's have a look at that. First of all, for Wigan Warriors, I picked out Bevan French. I know it's the old rugby league cliche, whenever you're looking at a team, but you cannot get away from the fact that this guy is an absolutely electrifying. He scored 17 tries this season and is a constant attacking threat. He can just create tries from the smallest margins, and he's got speed and versatility to burn. French can change the game in an absolute instant.
And on the other side of the field, you got Mikey Lewis, the current man of steel. His stats are as follows. He scored 19 tries this year for Hull KR, and he's been pivotal in any game for Hull KR when they've picked up big wins, especially against like Warrington and St Helens. So if Hull KR to win this game, he's going to have a big game.
Yeah, so you talk about those players having a big game, but what can they do to try and nullify those threats?
Wigan's got to keep their defensive line speed fast, which they've done all season, and they've got to keep it tight. But Mikey Lewis is one of these sort of players who roams all over the field. So I don't know. You've got to sort of have somebody with an eye on him. He'll step into the line and he'll break away at some point when he's least expected. Yeah, I think Wigan's defence has got to be tight to keep track of him.
Yeah, and absolutely same with Bevan French. He's equally as dangerous with his boot, with his passes, with his running. Yeah, if nothing else, it's going to be incredibly exciting. And talking about exciting, I've come up with this. Carl, he's not really big on it, but I like the idea of it. The thrillometer. Okay, so we're going to score each match that we preview out of 10 in terms of like excitability. Now, we've come up with a score at 9.5 for this game, and this is why. So first of all, just the pure history and heartbreak of these teams. So Wigan Warriors' rich history versus Hull KR's hunger for their first ever Super League title makes this a battle of tradition versus underdog grit. Will Wigan add another trophy to their cabinet, or will Hull KR finally taste victory? It's also an incredible record-setting atmosphere, with Ryan Hall as a shot at history chasing Carl Ablett's undefeated grand final streak and potentially becoming the oldest try scorer in any final.
So then game changes on both sides of the field. You've got Wigan's Bevan French and Hull KR's Mikey Lewis. Both explosive, unpredictable players and capable of game-winning magic. So that is another reason this is a huge game. The Rob Burrow Award, the newly named Rob Burrow Award for the man of the match, adds an emotional layer to this year. And the tight rivalry between the two sides. Recent clashes between these two sides have been intense, with Hull KR snatching a victory earlier in the year and Wigan getting their revenge later in the year with the win to lift the league leaders' shield. The stakes are high and we expect drama on both sides of the field.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be drama. We're going to be there, really excited. We truly are on the precipice of something great at the Theatre of Dreams. Make sure you check out our prediction video where we predict how these teams are going to finish up.
And also check out a set 6, which is landed on the YouTube channel. We've got a great story this week all about Norway Rugby League. We've really dived into it deep. Rugby League has essentially been banned in Norway, so get on that.